how y'all doing? I'd actually just showed my mom that meme yesterday. I showed her that meme yesterday, and she was like, okay, hey y'all, how y'all doing? And my mom, yeah, she's just like, okay, but Miss Juicy, she's the one that says that from, I think it's, the show is called Little Woman Atlanta, right? I feel like I got stuff in my throat. Why when I'm trying to film, 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 when I'm trying to film. I already cleared my throat a bunch before. We'll just keep going, and then if I have to pause it, I can pause it. Yeah, I feel like there's something. Oh, it's also. No, you know what? I'm gonna have to pause it. Do you wanna know what I think it is? Actually, before you see my face, actually you can see my face. Actually, you can't see my face. Actually, you can see my face. Actually, you can't see my face. You can't see my face. You can't see my face. I think it's because I've been having this year. I've been having this year. This year more lemons and limes, and so because of that, I think because of the histamine response that I get because of my health issues, it like causes me phlegm. Actually, and I know it's supposed to like help get rid of phlegm when you're having stuff like citrus fruits, but for some reason, because of my health issues, my allergies, it causes a histamine response. So I had a lime yesterday, and so because of that, I think now this morning also, can y'all hear the train in the background? Let me know. No, if you can hear the train. Train in the background. The train usually doesn't make noise except for it is like in the winter it doesn't, but in the summer and like fall, early fall, and like late spring, even like early spring, sometimes the train is loud. In the winter it's not, but like all throughout, especially the summer, is when the train is the loudest. And it just makes me wonder why. If anything, I feel like in the winter it would make more sense to be more loud, but for some reason, like just in case, because of like snow falling and it gets darker out quicker, so it's not as bright out, and also like it's more overcast, 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 it's more overcast in the winter. So you would think the train would be like, hey, just so y'all know, I'm here. Don't be trying to cross, okay? But okay, well, it only went off a couple of times, so that's nice. I don't even know where the train goes. Like, it doesn't go anywhere near here, specifically where I live. So I don't know. What have I been talking about this whole time? Oh my god, I like so serious. This is what happens every time I try to do videos like this. I never know what I'm saying. I'm just spewing things. Spewing things out of my mouth, and I don't know what I'm saying. That's why sometimes I get a little bit nervous it's always been like that ever since I was a young child. Yeah, my parents and us as children, we never talked to our neighbors, especially because when we were younger, we lived in an apartment where there was mainly older people. Like, there would be ambulances coming by a lot because people would, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, like, there was some young kids actually who I went to school with and who were in the same grade as me, who were like, their parents or their grandparents or like their aunts and uncles lived in that same apartment building. So because of that, they would sometimes like run into us. We would run into them. We would like walk home at the same time. But usually that was short-lived. We wouldn't like always see people, like other students, walking home or like being at the apartment building. It was mainly, again, like I just said, it was mainly old people. So yeah. I feel like there was something along those lines I was going to say. Did y'all have to walk home from school? When did you all, if you had to start, when did you start walking home from school? We started walking to school, and we would walk back home from school. I'm starting in 2nd grade, but my mom would be in her car and she would watch us walk to school and then watch us walk back home in 2nd grade. So it's like she could have just brought us, but she wanted us to start gaining that independence and being comfortable with walking. But we were still young, and she just wanted to make sure that like we would get there safely, get back safely. 2nd grade, I don't know about y'all, but 2nd grade was such a weird grade for us, or at least for me. I don't know, 2nd grade was a very weird year, I feel like. Elementary school, oh my god, I could cry. Elementary school, so much simpler times. Some parts not great, but some parts were very great, because I feel like elementary school is when you can really just like, I don't know about nowadays, but at least when I was younger, it was a lot more. You could yourself, you get what I'm saying? Like, it didn't matter if you were weird, it didn't matter if you were a little bit silly. Everybody was a little bit silly. But yeah, in middle schools, I feel like when people tame their personalities more, and then when people get to high school, 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 it's just like, even then people are more tamed. But I think hopefully by the end of high school, I feel like there's two main things for the most part. Let me know if I'm wrong in this. That happen where there's like, one, you maybe become more comfortable being yourself and you don't really give an F, and so you're more yourself by the end of high school. And then for number two, you maybe number two, you would maybe second option, you would maybe just shelter yourself and be like, I don't really care, I'm just trying to get through this. I don't care if people know who I am, and I'm just going to wait until the end of the year. After the end of the year, and then try to find my community of people once I hit college, you get what I'm saying? For me, I only ever did a semester of college, unfortunately, and also I went to, so for those of you who don't know, I grew up in Fargo, North Dakota. Can you tell by the way I say North Dakota? But a lot of people stayed there for college. I went to NDSU for a semester, and other people, 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 and other people that I certain celebrities who have been there, including Elton John. He's performed there before. And the Fargo Dome just took a great pride in the like artists and creatives and everybody and the sports people who have been there. I guess I wonder if they have like a Carson Wentz picture up now. Carson Wentz used to be the quarterback for the NTC Bison. He was the second pick first draft. I think, I don't remember what year. Was he the first pick first draft? I think he was first draft, second pick. Anyway, for the Philadelphia Eagles for being a quarterback. I know he's for sure first round. Yeah, is that what I said? Oh my god. But he was that pick for one of the years until he was the quarterback. One of the years that the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, but did they lose or did they win? I think they won that year. But I know for sure he was not. Playing that year because, like, at the Super Bowl, because he was out with an injury. He's had a lot of injuries. He has had to be benched. 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 Bench. He had to be benched quite a bit for injuries throughout his entire career. I think at NDSU as well. Now he's like a second or third quarterback for like the 49ers or something somewhere. Or no, I think the Chiefs maybe. Yes, because I remember Patrick Mahomes, at least this past year. So 2024, 2025, 2024, 2025, is when he, I think was the second or like the backup quarterback for the Chiefs. I think he is right now. I don't know if he will be this upcoming season, 2025 to 2026. I don't know, I'm not quite sure. But I know that, his first year being a quarterback in the NFL, his team went and I think won the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles won that year. I think the Eagles won the Eagles won the year, if I'm not mistaken. But and then I think he was on the Eagles for another year after that. But then he like got traded eventually, or he got released and then he got like picked up. I don't know quite the specifics about like Carson Wentz and his football career. I like watching football. American. Football, not football in other places, which is soccer, but American football. So like, I was actually in flag football for a summer with my sister. I would have been good at football. I feel like if I was on the football team at my high school. I wasn't in any sports after I quit swimming in the 7th grade. But I was a really fast swimmer. I was a state champion swimmer. I only swam from 3rd to 7th grade, but swimming was our lives, and we could not do anything else with our lives. I was really good at swimming. I loved being on team until I didn't. The people on my team, like the people my age, didn't talk to me because I was fast, and I think they were jealous. And the people who were older than me, I swam in the lanes with them, but I was too young, so they didn't talk to me. nice to me on the team. It wasn't like, sometimes it was what people said. But also it's because of what people didn't say. Like when people exclude you from things, that was like the big thing. My sister and I quit at the same time. She was loved on the team, but I think she just didn't want to swim anymore, and it was tiring. But she did high school swimming. She did high school swimming. She did high school swimming. I didn't do high school. High school was from 7th grade up. So I did 1 year of high school swimming. So 7th grade I did, and I just noticed I wasn't getting faster. I was actually getting a little bit slower. I wasn't getting good sleep. I would only get like, because we would have to be up at like, oh god, when would we have to be up? We would have to be up, and we lived close by, like only a couple blocks away from the pool. So I can't even imagine the people that lived. I can't even imagine the people that lived outside of town. But for us, we would have to get up around 4:30 or 4:45. We'd have to be in the water by 5:30. That is when practice started. That was more for club swimming. But for high school swimming, sometimes we'd have to get up early. But also for those, it was like that would be after school. But then it's like you have to do your homework, you have to do your homework, you have to do your homework, and then you don't have time for anything else. Like no social life. You couldn't hang out with friends because you have to do homework, especially as you get older. I don't know how high school students did it, because and you have to do some meets even during the week too. So like how did y'all do? And a lot of the high school swimmers were also like really smart and were in like they very smart people classes, like the AP and the AP and the AP and the AP and the dual credit classes. So it's like, how do y'all have time to do all this? How do you have time to do swimming and the meets and have a social life and think about college and do homework and like do extracurricular activities also, like attached to school? It's like how y'all are able to do that? I don't understand. I wasn't 7th grade, it was all too much for me. But also like there was a lot of reasons. But the high school swimming was a very interesting year. It was interesting that I feel like even though I still was excluded for some reason being a part of the high school team, at the youngest grade you could be a part of it. There's just so many good memories. Oh my god, the train is even louder now. The train is even louder now. Oh my gosh, but good thing we are almost done, so hopefully the train isn't too much of a distraction for you. What was I trying to say? Oh yeah, but I don't know, there's something about being part of that team. It just felt really cool. And also I try to push myself up. I try to push myself harder because like the fast people on the high school team who like you have to, it's not about age group, like 11 to 12 or 13 to 14, like it's 7th grade to 12th grade, everybody swims together. So I was not the fastest anymore, so I tried to keep up even though I still wasn't the fastest, but you know, I tried. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I love you. I'll see you